Today, our main goals are looking at the customized ebooks. We're going to talk about reasons that you would want to customize those books, the types of customizations that you can do, and we're going to glance at a pre-made customized book, and then I'm going to show you kind of how that was built. We're going to look at adding the you can add video pages and blank pages where you can add like a graphic organizer, or in one of them I added a little section where the students could draw on it. So you can do a lot with those blank pages. You can add questions and links and whatnot. We'll look at that. We can also, add links as far as YouTube, SchoolTube, TeacherTube, Vimeo. You can even do, like if you're pre-recording yourself doing a lesson, just upload it to your YouTube channel, and that will give you that YouTube link that you can embed. You can also embed websites, and you can also embed the benchmark resources like the Heidi songs, and there's some sound card videos. So if you need help with pronunciation of some letter sounds, you can embed those. You can embed the benchmark interactive games. So any of those resources that are already in benchmark the students don't have, we talked about yesterday assigning those. You can do that, but you can also embed them into the text for close reading or the my shared readings or the leveled readers. And we're also going to look at being a little creative with that, doing some teacher created lessons. Like if you're videotaping yourself just for a couple minutes explaining something, you can put that right into the customized book. You can also create, I'll show you a support page that I did in one of the leveled readers for parents, and then the next page I did was some lessons for the students that are actually embedded into the book. I'm going to show you where you can find some student questions so you're not having to make this stuff up. You can copy, cut, and paste it, go boom real quick to create these books. And the parent support as well will be embedded. Say hi to my husband. And then the text evidence question cards, get out of here, that are in the benchmark platform, how you can just copy, cut, and paste those really quickly so you're not really having to search and make up your own questions. It's all right there. You can embed it right into the, can you go away? right into the book. Okay. Then again, just like yesterday, I went ahead and put into the slide deck, and we'll get that into the chat. I went ahead and put in there where you can find the help button, and then look for the customizations, and then also the links to all of the little videos. So last night I broke this down for you so that you would have it to refer back to in little chunks. I also started some planning sheets because when I do customizations, they're nothing formal. It's really just me plopping it down, and I'll show you what that looks like. But I want to plan out my customization before I get started. One reason, and I'll show you in a little bit what is a little frustration for me, when you're adding and deleting pages, you really need to do that day one. Because when you come back on day two, I think with the uploads or whatever they do in the cloud world, it takes that feature away. So I want to get all my pages added and deleted day one. So having that plan, and then I can do all the rest of the customizations as I go throughout, day two, day three, day four, and so on. But day one, I'll show you what I mean, because it's extremely frustrating, and Benchmark is trying to work on that. Okay, so let's go into Benchmark Advanced, and I want to show you just real quick. This is the core of it, is how to get into the book, create a customization, and making sure you're saving and what editing means. So let's go into a grade 1, unit 8, and let's go into the My Shared Reading. See right here, the bright blue? That means there's a customized version of that book. It always defaults to the original book though. So in order to find my customization, I have to click on the title, and then find that customization. Now I could have multiple customizations in here. So you really want to title it something that you will remember what that version is, because you can customize for different reasons. Once you have that, then you're going to open it up. And because this is already pre-customized, because I started it, it's going to show up with a dark blue background. That means it's in presentation mode, not edit mode. You have to come to the hammer and the paintbrush. And when you see the bright blue background with the grid, that means you're in customization mode. Now, let me tell you real quickly the difference. So this is a pre-customized book. Now I want to present it to my class, right? I want to show it up on my whiteboard. Well, I don't want it in edit mode because whatever I do in here is it's going to be permanent. If I use it in presentation mode, I can still come in here, and let me lower this down. I can still come in here and grab my tools, and I can do the highlighter, you know, do whatever. It's not going to save. So when I get out of this and I get back in it, that's now going to be gone because it doesn't save in presentation mode. So that's all gone now. If I had done it in edit mode, I still would have to save it, but that's edit mode is for permanent. Okay, so now I'm going to take you back now, because when we start a customization, let me get this into its normal mode. So right here, I have this same version in the original form. I'm going to go ahead and open it. And it's going to ask me if I want to create a customization. Here's where you're going to name it. So you might name it, this one, I'll just put test customization for grade 1. Just 21? No, 1. So that I know. And I'm going to click yes. So now I have 2 versions of that original text, 2 new customizations. If I decided I didn't like that title, I always forget this button. This arrow right here will show me both of my customizations. You see the one in yellow reminds me that that's the version I'm in currently. I can come in here and change the title if I want to, if I need to do that. If I want to hide it, then I just click my thumbs down button and it hides it for me in this archived button. It will never get rid of it forever, but it will archive it so you don't have to look at it, because if you start playing around and practicing, you're probably going to have a lot of versions and you don't want to see all of that. So this little arrow is kind of I always forget about it, but it's there so that you can change the title and you can either hide that version and then it won't show up on that front page anymore. Okay, any questions so far? Okay, so the most important thing is that whenever you're doing a customization, you are in this bright blue grid. The other important thing is that you always hit the saved button. So right now there's no changes, there's nothing for me to save. So let's go in and look at the adding and deleting pages. So when I click on this bottom arrow, it's going to pop up all of my pages. Now this is what I was telling you about a minute ago that is very frustrating to me, because I'm going to customize this today, and tomorrow these pluses and these X's will not be there, and I do not know why. Again, I've talked to Benchmark several times. They don't know why. They have their developers looking at it. There's no reason for it to go away, but it does. And I have a feeling it's with whatever uploads they're doing each night that it does something to the program.
And Judy, there's a question.
Yes.
From Kelly. She says, you mentioned the top button with hammer and paintbrush. What's
yes.
that for again?
Edit mode. So if I go to I think it looks like a sailboat. If I go to the sailboat, it turns it into presentation mode. I would use this if I were showing this on my whiteboard to my students. The paintbrush and hammer are the edit mode. With both of these views, I still have access to my tools. It's just that in presentation mode, it will never save, never. So you have to be in edit mode to have the save button work. Okay. All right, so I can delete pages, and that might be important if you're, especially in grade K and 1 with the My Shared Readings, if you're wanting to make that Unit 7, Unit 8, if you're wanting to break that up. You could do that by figuring out which pages are Unit 7 and 8 and just delete, 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 delete. Well, it's not that simple. You delete, confirm, and then it will delete. But you will never get it back in this version. You can always go back to your original version and start again, but you're never going to get it back. So my suggestion is if you're going to delete pages, do that first. Don't do any other customizations because you're going to kick yourself if you make a mistake and you've got all these videos in there and whatnot, and now you can't get that page back. Okay? So if you're going to do that first. Then if I want to add a page, and I can do that in front of the book, I can do that any place in here. You just click on the plus and you have your choice of a blank page or a video page. So the blank page, what is nice about that is I can create this nice little blank page in between. And here I can write some instructions for my students. So what I would do is come over to the wrench, my tool, and here are my different tools. I'm going to lower this so I can see my entire toolbar. And I'm going to use the text tool because really what that does is it brings up a text box for you. So then you can type in your instructions. I don't know why it always defaults to red. I don't really care for the red. And for the little guys, you might want to make the font size bigger.
Judy, just a quick
yes.
question, from Patricia. She says, you cannot undo the delete you just did, like maybe a Control Z. Does that work, or gone is just?
I do not know. That's a great question. Let's try it out. I don't know. I haven't tried that. So let's do the instructions. So I've got instructions for this student, and then I can get another text box and type in more instructions if I need to. I'll show you a parent page and a student page that I already preset up. So let's go and let's look at that. Let's see if, okay, let's delete because I don't care about this one. Let's delete the front page. Okay, Control Z. Yeah, and that didn't work. No, it's gone. So that's why I just say, if you're going to delete pages, do that the very first thing. If you make a mistake, oh well, get rid of that version and start again, and then hide it. But don't start deleting pages after you've added videos and links and all of that, because you're just going to kick yourself. Okay, so that was adding a page, a blank page. You could have the kids really do anything. You could put some shapes in here and create graphic organizers and put directions on top of that. So you could do a lot of things with the blank pages. The other page that you can add is a video page. And with the video page, you have your choices of these formats. What I like about adding the page is it makes it very clean when you add a video. Instead of bringing up just the whole YouTube page, it just brings up the video. So let's see, we're in grade 2. No, we're in grade 1, right? I have, let me grab it. I have started a list. This is my little planning sheet that I have. So for the grade 1, unit 7, 8, my shared reading, I already pre-got links. Does that make sense? I already pre-filled the links so that I could just go through here. So I could go through here and just quickly grab the link and add it to my customization. So you can see what it
Judy,
looks like.
along those lines, Patty had a question about when you're adding text to a blank page, can you just copy and paste from other documents?
Yes, you can. Absolutely, you can. And so, Patty, let's jump. Let's jump to this. Let me get back to here. Let's cancel this. Let me show you. So, if I have, we created some calendars, benchmark calendars. And I don't know if Kim's are in Word. Mine are in Word. I think hers are PDF. I can just copy from here. Yeah, I can. So these calendars, you could literally copy, Control C, and let's get a text box. Change the size of the font. So I can literally copy, cut, and paste from in here, from any document. What I find difficult is, okay, I lost my page, is sometimes working with these text boxes as far as making them bigger and smaller. Sometimes it's not that easy, but yes, you can copy, cut, and paste directly from here. I'll show you with the leveled readers. The leveled readers actually have questions and some helps for parents that you can take directly from online in the benchmark and copy them straight from online into the book. So we'll look at leveled readers here in just a little bit. Okay, so let's go back to, we're going to make a video page. And from that list, I would literally just copy, Control C, and paste. I'm just going to name it video. Oh, maybe that's not the right one. Nope, that's not the right one. Sorry, that one was just a web page for parents. Get a video. I should have seen that. And hit OK. And see, the video comes up really nicely. It doesn't have any of the junk around the ends. Now, when the video is done, it will have the next ones to play down here at the bottom. So if you are concerned about that, you could always put the link into Safe YouTube, which is what I do a lot of the videos into, just to get rid of the junk around the edges. And I put the link to Safe YouTube in the PowerPoint as well. So that's inserting a page, what you can do with the blank page and what you can do with the video page, and deleting the pages. You can also add videos with a link. It's just not as clean looking. So let's look at, I'll show you an example of that. Let me go into, get rid of that. Let's do this horse pulling out a car. And this one I did do a Safe YouTube link because I didn't like how it showed up on YouTube. I'll show you the difference actually. Let's do that with this link. So if I come in here and I want to see my whole bar, I'm going to put in the link. And this one's in Safe YouTube. Okay, so we're going to put that one over here. And then, oh, sorry. And then I'm going to pull the YouTube link. It's the same video. And show you what that looks like. Because there is a difference. I'll just put YouTube so I remember that that's the YouTube. Okay, so they go in funky spots too. Okay, so safe YouTube, YouTube link. I have to go into presentation mode in order to view these videos. So now I'm in presentation mode. So here's what it looks like in safe YouTube. It just pulls it up. You don't see the junk. It's right there. If I go to the YouTube link, you see what I mean? It pulls up all the junk around here that you really don't want your kids to be clicking on. So safe YouTube is the better way to go. It's much cleaner looking when you're doing the link. When you're doing just the page, it doesn't matter. It comes out clean anyways. Okay, any questions on that?
No, your pacing is great. No questions.
Okay, so let's look at linking things that are actually in Benchmark.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh,
There's
go ahead.
a question that just popped in. To make a safe YouTube link, do you drop the YouTube link into it?
Yes, so let's go here. And so you'll come here and you'll grab your YouTube link. So you just go to the share, copy the link, put it into Safe YouTube, Control V, generate the link. It's really simple. And then just copy and you're done. Very simple and easy. Okay, let's go into, actually, let's save that. And we want to be in edit mode. And we'll go back into Benchmark. So I just opened up my, my original tab. And there are lots of things that are already in Benchmark that you can also link. So for instance, if I wanted to add in a Heidi song for whatever reason, I don't just need Unit 8. I can do any of these. Maybe I want to focus on. So I'm going to just click on a random video, R for pirate. So once you're in that video, you're just going to go up to your URL. You're going to Control-C, copy it. Go in your text for close reading or wherever you're in. Do the same link. Control-V it in. You can title it. And it creates a link directly to that Benchmark resource. So if I go into presentation mode, the student clicks on it, it pops up that resource. So you can assign it like we did yesterday, or you can put it directly into the book. There's lots of different resources that you can do that with. The interactive learning games are a great one to do that with. So if you're doing some spelling and you're looking at the vowel patterns, pick one of the videos or not the videos, the games, and the kids will have a great time playing that game and learning as well, and it's embedded right into the book. So those resources, remember again, they're on the side here, and yesterday we showed that up here you can find more resources. The spelling sound cards, there's videos in here if you scroll down. So if your students need some help with this, that's there as well.
And Judy, there's another question from Kelly, and she's asking, any way to label the link, in quotations,
Yes.
the link icon, so you see it on the page? Or do you just have to hover over it to see the title?
You could put a text box in there. So if you wanted to put a text box right over here and put course video, click here. You could do that too. So you could label them.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we have the links to the Benchmark materials. There's also, let me take you into a pre-done kindergarten one because that has a lot in it that I was working on last night. I'm going to go kindergarten unit 8 and small group instruction. So this is a leveled reader, and this way I can show you the teacher resources that are inside there as well. So again, I have to go to my customization. Remember that it's the default is the original book. I'm going to my customization, open it, and remember it's going to open up in presentation mode, so I need to change that to my edit mode. So with this one, I did a blank page, and here's just the text box, the instructions for the parents. And then I wanted to embed, because I know our parents are struggling with how do I teach this? I'm not a teacher. My sister calls me every day and she says, I'm not a teacher, I'm a nurse. I don't know how to do this. So, okay, well, here's how we can help you. We'll go into presentation mode. And here's a lesson I just found on YouTube on visualization. This particular leveled reader, that was the focus, was visualization. So I would probably go ahead and copy, cut, and paste that into, again, the safe YouTube, so all this junk didn't pop up, because I don't like that. But in doing this last night, I just put in the link. And then the other skill that they were working on with this leveled reader was drawing conclusions. So I did the same thing. I just popped in found a really cute video that would explain what drawings conclusions are. So I was embedding resources for the parent so that they could help their student as they're going through the book. Then the next page, I did lessons for the student. So I found the sight words that were embedded into this book. I found the sound that they were focusing on with this book, and then I put a game in there as well. So all of that before the student even gets to the book, so they have some practice and they're learning the skill before they even read the book. And then we can go in and read the book, and I haven't populated it yet. Is that my kindergarten one? Here's the skills. So when I'm planning this out, I really just copied that straight out of the book, and I'll show you where I found that. And then I went through and planned my videos and any of my games based on the skills that that leveled reader was trying to hit. I wouldn't do this for every leveled reader, but there might be something that I'm like, okay, I can assign this to all of my kids. All my kids need this, or most of my kids need this. And just create one. And the two of you as a team, if you wanted to split that up and create a couple of them for each unit, I think that would be absolutely amazing support for your kids and your parents. So I first did all of the different topics that book covered. Then I went through and looked at what supports were embedded in Benchmark and just copy, cut, and pasted those URLs right in this Google Doc. Looked at the interactive games, the sound card videos, and you could do other things as well in here. If you had your own teacher-created lessons, you could add those to the list as well. So I found that right here, and I literally just, snipped that and put it on that sheet and was doing my planning off of that. And you could do the same with your My Shared Reading. You could go into your teacher edition, find where the skills are being addressed, just cut that, and then start planning what you're going to put into the customization based on that. Because we know this distance learning is going to go on for a while, and we need to be able to support our parents and our students without us physically being there, which is very difficult. Another place that you can find resources is this apple right up here. Now that's only in the leveled readers. It is not in your text for close reading, and it's not in your My Shared Reading. I'll show you where that resource is. It's not embedded into the book. So let's get back into edit mode. So I want my bright blue background back. And when I go into teacher resources, there's two things here. The teacher's guide, which is more for your parents. You can get them some little notes. and your text evidence question cards. Let's look at that first. That's more of the questioning that you would do with your students if you were having a small group. So if I scroll down, you're going to see the questions that you could be asking your students if you had them in your small group. It even tells you what page you're going to ask the question. Oh, can you guys hear the horns? Freedom's doing their little parade right now. So
yes, I can hear them.
Yay! So I've already preloaded this book with a few of these. All you would need to do is literally highlight Control C. It tells you what page it's on. It says look at page 15. I come in here and let's go the quick way to find page 15. And there's page 15. So with the student questions, I think it looks cleaner to do the text box. Change it back to black, and I'm going to make it a little bit bigger for my kiddos. And what I like about this is when you click out of it, look, it doesn't get rid of it's transparent, so you can still see the picture. I may want to, whoops, didn't want to do that. Come on, I just want to highlight it. I may want to bold it so that they can see it better. But now I have a question embedded right into the book. Now for your parents, let me save that. For your parents, what I would do is create a little sticky note up in the corner. And you could tell parents, okay, whenever you see a green or a pink or whatever color sticky note, that's for you. So here's my sticky notes, and I can change the color to whatever I want. Let's go orange and put it up there in the corner. Then I'm going to go back to my Apple, and I'm going to look at the teacher's guide, because that's where it's going to give the parents some guidance. With the teacher's guide, you have different options here, but honestly, right now, I would just stick with the first read. They're not going to get into the close read or extended meaning, independent learning. Parents are going to probably be right here at the first read. And I was on page 15, I believe, right? So here's the question. What type of weather is shown or displayed? What does the photo show you about this type of weather? So that's a question that a parent could ask their child and have a conversation about. So I'm going to copy that, paste it right into that sticky note, and I can move that sticky note around wherever I want. But I'd probably tell my parents to look for it in the corner or somewhere that's kind of out of the way of the book. I'm going to make sure I save that so it's there. And then that way they have some sort of a talking point for this book, because they're not sure. They're just reading the book. And it's a very simple book. It would take the students, no time at all. But let's have conversation about it. Let's embed some videos and get some learning into the book. Ask questions. Really make it a good learning experience versus, okay, 2 minutes and I'm done. Okay, any questions on the leveled readers and the resources available there?
No questions. This is amazing.
Okay. Let me show you where you can find that same type of thing in your My Shared Reading or Text for Close Reading. Let me look. Let's go grade 1. Get back to you guys. And under practice. I never remember where this is. And hopefully, I don't know if first grade has it. It doesn't look like you do. Let me go make sure I'm in the right spot. Let me look at, yep. See, there's the text evidence question cards. I don't think first grade has it yet, because you're really not doing the close reading that the third grade is doing. Did any upper grade teachers pop in? I don't even know. No?
No. Mm-mm.
Okay. Then we'll skip that part. Trying to think what else might be helpful to you as far as tips and tricks. Oh, I know what else I wanted to share with you is basically the other resources that you can customize. So we talked about that ELD piece, and you can go into your student book for the ELD. And you can do the same things here. You can add pages, you can add videos. It would really help to support those kiddos who are struggling the most with language. So if anything, if you didn't do it for the whole class, if you did some supports here, like adding in some links about, you know, the sun and the moon and whatnot, just giving them some background knowledge in video form would be like, it would be huge for those students. The other one is the SPED piece. And I just want to remind you where you're going to find that, because it's not something that is advertised. And I'm not sure if I can find it right here. Yes, we can. It's called, so write this down, it's Steps to Advance. So with Steps to Advance, what I could see happening here, oh, you guys are first grade teachers. So it's not going to matter for you because it starts at second grade. Oh, that's a bummer. I wish this started at first grade. So we'll skip that too. Unless you want to see it.
Could you show it, and could they assign it to those higher students in their classrooms? Well,
it's a breakdown of the text. So it's really meant for remediation. I'll show you what it does. I showed a little bit of it yesterday. This is where it breaks down the text, and this would be completely customizable. So what this text does is it breaks down the original version. It breaks it way down in the first version, the bridging the text. So it just gives them little snippets. Then the second version looks more like the ELD version, where it's a little bit more beefy, but it still is, it's not the full text. Then the third version is almost what they would see in the My Shared Reading or the Text for Close Reading, but it has some modified language, and some of the paragraphs might be removed, the paragraphs that are just supporting paragraphs, or some of the sentences that are just supporting sentences, and it really keeps the meat. But the look and feel is exactly the same as the My Shared Reading or the Text for Close Reading. So students don't even really realize that it's really different. But then it also has some supports here for comprehension with the mind webs.
Great, Judy, thank you. Patricia is asking a question. Can you please review where the resources are in Benchmark?
Absolutely.
All the resources. And
absolutely.
Are the book stories able to be customized?
Are what stories?
The big book stories.
Oh, great question. Okay, let's go back to Benchmark Advance and grade 1. And let's go into whole group. We'll go unit 8. Okay, so here are you're talking about the shared book, correct? Or you're talking about the mentor read alouds? Or these books? Go ahead and unmute, Patty. Which ones do you want to look at?
The big books actually down at the bottom, like Night and Day or the Wind and
right
the
here. Yes, you should be able to customize those as well. I have never done it, to be honest, but yes, you should be able to.
And then are these texts able to be read to them through the computer?
Yes. So it will still read to them. All of the texts, I believe, are you're able to have it read to them, except for the assessments. So that reads to them. and you are able to add pages and do whatever you want with these as well. So that's an extra resource for you all. Okay, any other questions? Because I've gone over I think I've gone over, oh, you wanted to go over the resources, correct?
Yes,
So,
please.
so here in the library, that's where you're gonna find most of the resources available. Now remember yesterday we talked about advanced in action is the PD piece. You have your assessments, and in first grade, that includes week 1, week 2, and the unit assessment. Then benchmark advanced is where we normally are. And within that, you have at the bottom the Heidi songs, the interactive learning games, and e-pocket charts, which are all, you're able to assign and add those to the customizations as well. You have your designated ELD here. It also is its separate tab. And then the practice, which there's lots of, let's go, boom, boom. You can even assign, we didn't talk about that yesterday, you can assign the handwriting practice pages. They just have to print them out, that's all. But you can embed any of these games, which are also here in the interactive learning games. So after Benchmark Advance is Writer's Universe, that starts at 2nd grade. The designated ELD is the same thing that you saw in the Benchmark Advanced, but it might be easier to find here because there's just less to look at. Then you're really not going to do the ELD interim assessments. You have your Heidi songs. This view is a little bit easier to see because it breaks it down by category versus by unit. So if you're looking for colors or shapes or maybe high frequency words, you can look through it that way. And you can also use the search. So if there's a high frequency word you want to focus on, you can search it. Then your interactive learning games. And you can assign any of the interactive learning games from K1 or 2. So right here you have access to all of them, and then you can filter your grade level and what they're suggesting for that unit as well. But you have access to all of it. Then the sound spelling cards and videos for Benchmark. The sound spelling cards are not assignable. We saw that yesterday. But the videos are, and these videos, you can show you what they are. You can embed these in the customizations as well. So they're just real short if your students have a problem with letter sounds. So just real short. But you may have a few students who need that support. Steps to Advance we just looked at, that is the special ed piece. And writing exemplars are really just for you. Those are just some samples of what 2nd grade writing might look like.
And Judy, Patricia asked a question, why is it or how is it that Melissa can share our customizations, but we all don't?
What do you mean?
I'm assuming that she means across the district. At the school site, yes, but maybe not across the district.
I have been asking Benchmark for over a month for that capability to be able to share across the district, because I would like to create just a shell and then you take off with it and do what you want with it. They just don't have that capability yet. You can only share within school sites. So what you would do to share, let's go back to one of the customizations I did. So that would be in the bookshelves, well, right here, the school customization library, and you would add it to that. So if I wanted to add, I would have to be in my customization book that I wanted to share, and then I would have to drag it up to the school library, and I'd want to share it with all teachers. I don't want to notify them. They would kill me. Well, who would you like to know? No, I'm not going to notify anybody. Then you can go into that library. Come on. Why can't I get into the library? Okay, I'm lying. You can't get into the library. Okay, that's very bizarre. I don't know why I can't get into the library. Let me see if I can go into, if it's in my library. Okay, I do not know why I can't get into that customized library. You see I have 4 in there, and it's not allowing me in at this point in time. Let me try to refresh. There I am. Okay, refresh always is your friend. So these are the things that have been shared, that I've shared with my other IT coaches within this system. It will only allow you to share within your own school system at this point in time. Again, trying to get that access where we can make it happen. So far, they just don't have the capability yet. But I have been talking to them at least weekly about that, because I think it's important that we have that capability of doing that.
I don't know if you can hear me. Can you hear me, Judy?
I can.
Okay, this is Patty. So Benchmark somehow magically understands that Melissa and I are at the same site?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they do. And magically, they do.
Okay. Yeah,
And
it would
that,
be really nice if we could all share. That would be awesome.
and it will allow you to share through, I mean, everybody at your school site will have access to it. But what we really would like to have is, can't all first grade teachers have access to something? Or can't all, fourth grade teachers have access to something? So that's what I'm pushing for, is that gets developed. We'll see how that goes. Right now, I think things are kind of, they're working on what their have-tos are, not what their want-tos are. But hopefully soon. I hope so. The last thing that you can add that I didn't, yes, I did. We did go through the homework calendars, didn't we? Yeah, I showed you the homework calendars. So those homework calendars that Kim and I did for units 7 through 10 are in that folder that's in the CUSD resources for distance learning that was posted last week on the CNI website. And you can just copy, cut, and paste the directions out of that to put in your customizations as well.